Hi, my name is Nicolette Durso and welcome to my second book critique. The first book I'll be critiquing is Thank You Mr Faulker, written and illustrated by Patricia Polacco. The awards are the Storybook Award, the Gold Award, the Association of Educators of Dyslexic and Learning Disabled Readers Best Book, and the Educators for Social Responsibility Award. The genres are autobiography, children's book, and fiction, and the reading levels are 3rd to 5th grade. Thank You Mr Faulker is about a little girl named Tricia. From the time Tricia was in kindergarten, she wanted nothing more than to learn to read. But as the years went by, she struggled. By the time she got to 5th grade, she was being bullied daily. It hurt her so much she began to hide at recess time. One day, her teacher, Mr. Falker, heard Eric tormenting her. He realized Tricia had never learned to read, and so he made it his mission to teach her to read in a new way. After a few months, Tricia was reading. In the end, Tricia is grown up and at a wedding. There she runs into Mr. Faulker, and as she thanks him for his help, we learn that this story is about Patricia Polacco, the author. So the first lesson plan I have is a 4th grade health lesson. The objective is students will learn how they can encourage people in their time of need. The teacher will first ask the students to go to Soapbox and plug in the code. So we're going to go to Soapbox and put in the code 525248. 620, and we're going to join now. And as we see here, we have 2 discussion posts. It's Thank You Mr. Faulker discussion questions and Thank You Mr. Faulker poster. So first we're going to go to the discussion questions. And here we see I have 2 questions listed. The first one is, what do you think was going on with Eric to make him act so mean towards Tricia? And the second question is, Tricia couldn't handle all the teasing, so she hid at recess time. What else could she have done? So they're going to add a reply in this box, answer the first question, answer the second question, and then add the reply, and then they're going to go back to the event. So I will give them time to work on the questions, and the questions are using critical thinking, and I would use communication at the end by either having myself or having the students share out their answers. After they complete the questions, I will be asking the students to take a look at the poster. So go back to Soapbox and go to the poster. And it says here, work with a partner and create a poster of encouragement for Tricia or someone else in our school that might need encouragement. Remember, Tricia can't read yet, so use symbols and pictures instead of words. Record yourselves explaining what the symbols and pictures represent. So the students will be using collaboration while working with a partner and creativity to create the poster. The second lesson plan I have is a 4th grade English lesson. And the objective is students will write a thank you letter while paying attention to how it is written. The teacher will first introduce what the writing topic is to the students, and it's based off of a portion of the book. So 30 years later, Tricia ran into Mr. Faulker at a wedding and took that opportunity to thank him for changing her life. So the teacher will then tell the students what the activity is, and it's just writing a letter to a former or present teacher that you've had. Teachers love to hear how they have impacted their students' lives, but for most of our students, we never really know where they wind up. I want you to think back to a teacher you had from this year or any year. It could be your classroom teacher or a special area teacher. I want you to write a letter to that teacher. The layout for the letter should look similar to this. First, introduce yourself by letting them know what year they taught you and what grade you are in now. Then describe something they did for you personally, a lesson they taught, an activity they had the class do, basically anything that had an impact on your life in some way. Next, let them know how it changed your life. And finally, thank them. After you have proofread your own letter, I want you to bring it to a classmate and switch letters to edit them. Then I want you to decide how you are going to surprise this teacher with a letter. It could be a number of things. It could be you go to their classroom and you hand them the letter. Or you go down to the office and slip the letter into their mailbox. Or you could give it to me and I'll make sure the letter gets to your teacher. Or if you have another way you want to give it to them, then you can do that. The second book I'll be critiquing is Drawing from Memory, written and illustrated by Alan Say. The award is the Booklist Editor's Choice Books for Youth. The genres are memoir, biography, autobiography, comic, and graphic novel. The reading level is 4th to 12th grade. This story takes place in the times of World War II. As a young boy, all Alan Say wanted to do was draw and become a cartoonist, but his father disapproved of the idea. So when the opportunity came along as a young teen to live on his own and become an apprentice of Japan's famous cartoonist, he jumped on the chance. This led him to become a famous artist himself. Alright, thank you so much for listening to my second book critique. I'll see you next week.